Today, I want to talk about erasing corporate junk. Yes, time to erase the corporate junk. I worked in corporate America for a majority of my life. I've been super fortunate to work with a lot of top 100 companies in that customer service space. And it's been tons of fun. I have learned so much and have made so many amazing friends along the way. But when I was promoted to entrepreneurship in February 23 due to a layoff from a very wonderful, wonderful company, um, it was hard for me to move into that space. It was okay for me to be at home because I had already been at home during the pandemic. But moving into this space where I'm creating a life where working from home is the new norm, there was a mindset that was still stuck in corporate America that was holding me back from a lot of progress. I continued to refer to everything related to the company that I spent the most time at. I was at an automotive company for more than 17 years. I continue to refer to them as we, as if I was still part of that automotive family. Um, I'm still very, very passionate about the vehicle that I drive and the safety that I get from that vehicle. Um, but it's taken a lot of reflecting on my time there to really realize I was yet just an employee. No matter how much I dedicated my time and my energy and my passion and felt like 6 days a week was not enough, I was still yet just an employee. And for years, it's taking me a long time to get the we out of my vocabulary. There is no more we. I'm no longer them. They don't pay me. They don't insure me. Yes, I still drive the vehicle, but that's because I own it and I pay for it now. I'm no longer leasing it from them. That we mentality, that ability to just sit in the fact that yesterday is complete, that life is complete and no more, has been one of the hardest things to get out of my system. And I had to really spend some time reflecting on that. Like, why do I continue? It could, full transparency, I spent about a year and a half putting in applications trying to go back to said company. And sometimes I would get to the second interview where I got to interview with individuals that knew me and knew of my work product and my loyalty to the company. And yet it always ended up being we went with someone who had a little more experience. They're not going to honor you, Candace. They're not going to look at your loyalty and your time and your historical knowledge and all of the intellectual property and experience that you've amassed over the years. They're not going to look at all of your hours and say, you know what? She will come back in here and dedicate that time. For a very long time, I felt like all of those interviews were, well, we have to interview her. Look at the time that she's dedicated. So, getting rid of the wheeze has been super difficult. Another piece that's been super challenging for me is adopting that time management mindset, in that no one's dictating my time. I start my workday when I want to start my workday, I end it when I want to end it. I have created a whole life with my online business management and event management work. And it's no longer a 9 to 5. It's more like a 9 to 9, depending on what's happening and what my client load looks like, right? So getting into that mindset of you have to create your own schedule. You are your own boss. You have to have a work time where you wake up in the morning, This is what you're doing. You got to be on the clock by 8 or 9. And this is the work that you're slated to do that day. It's one of the most important things that you could do as an entrepreneur is really take that discipline that paycheck, those benefits caused you to have, and incorporate that into that entrepreneurial mindset. The only thing that I'm still struggling with, full transparency, is getting that workout in and scheduling that just like I would schedule my work, my clients, my Zoom calls, etc. So y'all pray for your girl. The last part that's really that's been the biggest transition is moving into that manager visionary mindset. In my corporate setting as a middle management leader, we were always brought into the meetings where we were told about what the strategic plan was for the year, what the overall targets were for the year, and what our individual roles, our departments, I was a call center supervisor, but what our individual department would do to be able to lend to that bottom line, how we could support that, how many leads, how many calls, what our service levels need to look like. And I failed for the first couple of years of this business to put on that visionary cap. What is the vision that I have for my business? What are the strategic goals? How many more clients do I want to amass? How much am I charging them to be able to get to that financial goal? What is that going to look like? What is the 1, 3, and 5 year vision for the organization? How do you want to scale it? How do you want to grow it? I didn't sit in that role for a very long time. As a matter of fact, it wasn't until this year that I really started saying, okay, I got to get serious. People are really starting to love the work that you are doing for them. You've refined your process and your product offering. Now, what does that look like from a business perspective? And so, as you continue to sit in this beautiful role, because it really is a blessing to be an entrepreneur that works from home, where clients are trusting their income, their hard earned income, and their business to you. I'm so very blessed. But I also understand there's a tremendous amount of responsibility. Anyone that has clients, a product that they sell, needs to understand that there's a tremendous amount of responsibility that is part of the work that we do. You have a responsibility to yourself. If the income that you're generating is income that sustains your household, you have a responsibility to your household. If you have a product that is a disposable product where customers can come back and get that from time to time, you have a responsibility to that client because they're creating a dependency. They're creating a relationship with your product and or you, depending on what that offering is. And you're creating a responsibility to the Father, your creator that has trusted the vision, the clients, just the overall business and the ability to affect others' lives to you. And when you really sit in that and you think about it, you're like, wow, I am in the top 10%, top 5%, depending on how you slice your numbers, right? But I look at how what I am doing is so impactful and it can make or break someone's business. And I take that incredibly seriously. So I would love to know what your business is and who you feel tremendously responsible to. Drop those things in the comments. If there are, if you've struggled with getting rid of pieces of the corporate mindset, right? Getting rid of the we's, putting your time schedule together, What kinds of things are you doing to help you manage those things? How did you make the transition from corporate to entrepreneurial responsibility? And if you haven't, make sure that you sit and you think about that before you make that transition. We'd love to, be able to kind of pour into you and continue the conversation. So let us know what it is that you're thinking about, struggling with, or any solutions that you've had to these particular situations. Anyway, that's all I have today. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and tune in for the next video, and we'll talk to you soon.